in life. Hello, everyone. This is Cristiana Eltrayan, your host for the Pranic Consciousness Summit. And we are here today with Marco Missinato. I hope I pronounced the name right. He's a beautiful light being, composer, musician, and photographer expressing his light through art in order to create a resonance that is heart opening for this planet. His aim is to unite at least 1,404 people to resonate, to heart open them and resonate together on the planet to create a critical mass and to nourish this planet with the frequency of the heart or the frequency of love through music. But he has more than this. He has several interesting projects that we're going to talk about today. So hello, Marco, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, Cristiana. Thank you for having me with you and your lovely people. And it's an honor to be with you right now.
We are honored as well. And I was just sharing with Marco that I just met him in this music this morning. It was an instant, pooder, because I heard one of his compositions and I read about his intention, and it instantly resonated with this summit. It was like this, and we invited him, and he said yes. And like 4 hours from then, we are having this interview. It's one of these beautiful instant manifestations that we love so much. So thank you, Marco, for being so quick on that.
Thank you. And that's exactly how we should all operate, by resonance and instant manifestation. That's really how it works when we are completely open.
Yes, yes. It takes openness to do this, and if we are all open, it would be like a realm of magic, here on Earth.
Absolutely, and that opening requires deprogramming of a lot of limited beliefs that we have acquired during the first period of our life and maybe from other times. But that's why we are here too, and that's the fun part. That every time we deactivate a limited belief, and a totally new reality comes to available to us like never before. So that's very exciting.
And we are experiencing and experimenting at the same time. What would you say triggered this intention in you? So we know that you have been a passionate musician for a long time, but this intention of uniting people and reaching a critical mass, how was it born in you?
Well, no, my connection with music was instant. It was already there at the time of my conception. I was already, believe it or not, I was already a certain level aware that music was the given choices for me, my blueprint. Like we all are special in something. And I had, and we are actually special in more than something. We have more specialness within our heart. And my most preeminent gift since I can remember, it's been always music. Music as a way to create a sense of oneness, to dissipate the illusion of separation. The idea of the 144,000 open heart came much later in my journey here in this physical journey. It happened, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago when I sensed that was a good way to be supportive of what was happening at the time. And I still do feel that it's an excellent idea, but I'm very happy to say that we already reached the 144,000 critical mass number. So that's why right now there are so much going on in our planet, because we broke that barrier. But still, that the idea is still valid and is still within myself, and so I still hope very soon to be able to attract a number of people around the music.
We know that you were hoping to do this to do this project and unite them all live at the same time, or live or in streaming somehow.
Yes.
Is this project still standing by several concerts along the world?
I'm sorry, you broke up for a moment. What did you say? What did you ask me?
I was asking if this project of uniting 144,000 people,
yes.
Is this still on, or you have already achieved that goal by several concerts around the world?
No, it's still on. It's still a non-possibility. It's not a possibility that has to happen one time only, because the more we continuously reach that number, the more we feed the planet with opening hearts. So it's not just a one-time process. Hopefully it will be a series of world tour with music, with high vibrational music. And so that event, that magical event will occur many times, not just once.
That's a wonderful project. I was wondering about the number as well. You have an exact number that expresses that critical mass. How did it come to you?
144,000 seems to be a very important number. It came me, like all the information that comes to me, it comes in different forms. It comes in my dreams. It comes in confirmations when I talk to people or when I make my own research. So the information that we attract in our journey, they're always coming from different, they're coming in the mental realm, in the heart realm, in the spiritual higher self realm. It's all a matter of how much you are open to follow your imagination. Because in my perception, imagination is the key out of this limiting matrix where we are right now. So as soon as you tap into your positive, joyful imagination, immediately you start to have access to information that are not limiting, but are coming from the infinite.
So it's actually divine, you would call it universal guidance, yes? Or divine guidance?
Yeah, you can put it that way. There are many ways to express the same concept. It's basically we all are source, having a physical experience, and so when we connected with our heart or with our solar plexus, or with which expresses itself in imagination, in joy, in excitement, in passion, then we access to a part of us that is a source, and therefore we can download and be guided in a much more powerful way than when we are choosing through our limited tunnel vision of the mind, because the mind unfortunately cannot see the whole design, and that's why it's not equipped to make decision. The mind shouldn't be at the driver's seat. At the driver's seat should be our soul, our heart. The mind should be is very important, but it shouldn't be the decisional power mechanism.
How did you get to reunite or reconnect to that part of yours where the decision making is really right? So the soul or the heart. How was your journey about that? Were you always connected in this way, or did you have a time of forgetfulness and then a time of remembering?
Well, in a way, I somehow in this lifetime, in this specific journey, I never lost completely contact with my inner guidance, you can call it. I never completely fall into 100% forgetfulness. I was always different. Like I'm sure you two have the same experience. Many of us were never apply completely the curriculum of the overimposed society that tells you, okay, now you have to study, now you have to work. You know, they have a specific curriculum that they want us to follow, so that we basically become sheep and we just obey to a certain situation that have hidden agendas. And somehow, since I was very little, I never felt completely in those traps. I was always, how can I say? I shouldn't say rebellion, but I always, I never fully trusted those voices. It was coming lovingly, but was coming from the family, from the educational system, from the society, from the religion. Somehow I never felt for those voices. And I always, my intuition always overcome those contractive voices, because every time they were suggesting something, I would always feel a contraction. And I said, if that's a contraction, it means it's not natural, you know? So of course, when I was 5 years old, I could not explain to you like I'm explaining to you right now, but I was feeling that, you know? And so as I move forward in the journey, I become a little more sophisticated in the way how I explain things, but more or less the experience was the same.
So you have some inner guidance that is expressing through your body, like contraction and expansion, and you know when something is right because your body and your cells are expanding and your energy self is expanding, and then when something is not so right, you have a sense of contraction in your body. Yes, this is your guidance.
Well, that's everybody guidance. I'm not special. We are all special. We are all like that. It's just some of us confuse that as fear. So they feel a contraction and they think that the contraction is because there's an external situation that we have to avoid or be protected from. In reality, the contraction itself is telling, oh, look, the way you are perceiving this reality in this moment is not in line with your system. You see, there is a subtle difference, because one has the tendency to fall into victim and looking outside for a fix. The other one is taking fully responsibility and owning and fully looking within himself for changing the way how we respond to the experience, because the way how we respond will create the experience, the quality of our experience. It's not the experience, it's not the situation itself, it's the way how we respond to it.
Of course, and the way we observe it and respond to it, it's actually altering the experience as we go through it.
Yeah, yes.
In every moment, yes. We are altering or modifying our experience through our observation and intention and reaction eventually.
And that's why many say we create our own reality. We create our own reality by the way how we respond to what we have in front of us in every given moment.
Of course. Let's go back to our more humane aspect and tell us a little. Tell us a little about your background as an artist and how did you come to music, and eventually how did you come to heart-opening music? Because we know there are several types of music on this planet and several types of, even pitch is different, you know.
Yes.
The old pitch and the new pitch and the fine-tunement of the instruments and so on. So would you like to tell us a little about that?
Yes, like I suspect, like most of the musicians, I first come to music, and I was very, very little. I was probably 2 or 3 years old. I came to music, or I started to connect with music with already a heart open. So the music that I was conceiving at the time was already pure. But many musicians, after that first approach with innocence and purity, they get often discouraged and by the music educational system that will start to indoctrinate them on how to do the music, why music and how it has to be, and what is the format of music. Somehow I always rejected those form of programming. And so I was able to remain pure through all my stages on my relationship with musicality, with music. So I didn't allow the education and the music industry to infect me and bring the ego into my doing. And so when I go to the piano, I go to the to whatever instrument I'm going to use to compose, I'm still able to be completely pure and innocent. And so that's the secret, how to conceive music that is purely, that doesn't have a hidden agenda. So I never know what I'm doing, basically. That's the in a nutshell.
Yeah,
because in that not knowing, we allow our higher mind, our higher soul, our higher self, whatever you want to call it, to really take fully charge of our creativity. And so we can download very high, vibrationally high level of, in my case, music or whatever we are creating. But if we start to use the rightness and wrongness that we learn from the educational system, from the matrix, then our music is always polluted. It's limited. It's not. It doesn't really reach cellularly the listener.
exactly, and this is also applying to any type of any form of expression. I was going to say art, but I'm going deeper and say any form of expression, including giving talks, holding workshops, doing healings, or just talking to a friend eventually.
Absolutely. Yes.
If we are able to stay connected to our highest degree of consciousness in every action of our life, everything would flow perfectly in this world. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you for doing that too.
Thank you. What would you say? Do you have because it's the Pranic Consciousness Summit, and we're also talking a lot about spiritual practice and so on. Do you have like a daily practice that keeps you connected in this way, or just it's your way of being?
I do not have a practice. What I do, I connect with stillness.
Yes.
Many use meditation, maybe you breathing. My way to connect us on stillness is to basically completely surrender to the here and now. So you can call it that a technique. So let's say I wake up in the morning and whatever I need to do first, I might have to brush my teeth, or let's say I take a shower. Well, I completely surrender to the shower, to taking a shower, as if there was nothing else that exists, as it was the only thing that exists in that moment. And so I completely surrender. I step out from the idea of time and space. I just surrender to the shower. And then once I complete, I will get a signal. Okay, this is done. And now go to the next topics, to the next task that you have to do. When you are able, and I'm not always able to do that, but when I'm able to do that, then I get an incredible amount of high vibrational informations. And the quality of my doing became divine. And this is something that is accessible to everybody. It's not that only to a few special elected people. We are all be able to connect with stillness, because stillness is always there.
Exactly. And we need to emphasize on this, not so that everyone could know that they could access this.
Yeah, it's in a way, in a more simple world, you can say that we need to relax and to surrender to the whatever we are doing, rather than doing something because we have to do the next, and then we have to do the next, and then we have to do the next. And that's what causes aging in many ways, and that's what causes being tired at the end of the day. While if you operate from a way of completely surrendering to the now, at the end of the day, you have done, paradoxically, you have done much more, and you are completely refreshed, you're not tired, and the quality of your doing is divine.
That's a beautiful way to put it, and so true. And this is also very well, as I listen to your music, this is also very well transmitted through your music. This is the state that is imprinted in your music as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, some masters or teachers would call it presence, a state of
exactly.
presence.
Presence. And this is the biggest challenge, for example, when it comes to music, because in the music, to really arrive to the audience to its maximum level of purity has to be in presence through all the stages, not only during the conception, but also during the arrangement, the rehearsal, the musicians, and then the stage. Basically, all the steps by step until you get to the concert or to the recording studio, everything should be ideally in a state of presence. And that's become tricky a little bit, because then when you start to involve other people, you know, some people are able to be present more than others, right? And also there are people that are very much concerned about you know, money and about fame and about expectation that there has to be certain results because I need to become successful, because I need to be validated by society. So all this stuff kind of make things a little bit more challenging, because when you have those concerns, you pollute your doing. Your doing is not pure anymore. It has an agenda, right?
Yes, and it also takes us out from the state of presence. You're not there anymore. You're in the next step. You're in the next thought, and you are in the thought of the outcome, not in the thought of the present.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, that's the formula. The formula is to follow your joy with zero expectations. So you're enjoying what you're doing right now without and letting go at the outcome. The reward is the joy that you gain in your doing. Then whatever comes out is just extra bonus.
Exactly, and live every moment like there's no other moment after it, because there's really no other moment after it.
Exactly, there is not. You're right.
Everything is happening now, in the now.
Yes.
And how do you synchronize? That's a very important question for many of us. How do you synchronize to all the people that have to work with you? So you are, you know, as a composer, you are working with orchestras, and that's a very important, you know, pattern to be applied in any other job. You know, we are all working with orchestras, be them music or healers or people doing similar jobs together. We are all, even now, humanity is a big orchestra.
Yes.
That needs to be synchronized in a way.
Yes.
How do you do it for your orchestra? What's the trick?
Okay. One of the tricks is to give up the how.
Perfect.
And trust 100% that the how will be perfectly orchestrated by your higher self or source. Because if you start to be concerned about the how, again, you start to get in contraction, because now you have expectations. You have to develop a strong sense of trust about your resonance, and trust that by resonance you attract other people that are more or less in those frequencies, and then whatever needs to happen, it will happen. And if you don't have expectation, it doesn't matter what happened. It really doesn't matter what happened. You know, what it matters is that you maintain integrity with your heart. So you just maintain integrity in your heart, and you stay present, and you trust that the outcome will be perfectly directed by forces and sources, which is still you, but in a non-physical expression.
And practically what you're saying is to allow your non-physical to express through your physical body.
Yes, that's and that's something is accessible to everybody. We can all do that, but we have to let go and let go all our fears and all resistances and all that.
And the only thing that might stop us from doing that is the very contraction of the physical body when we worry.
Yes, yeah, worry is a big component. The system sponsor a lot of worries, but you just turn on the TV and you will see it's all about worry, 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 fear, 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 limited,
I don't
limited.
have a TV for 5 days now, so I can't turn
Right.
it.
Yeah, good. And that's very smart because there is really nothing there to look at, you know.
I like to have space in my home and good quality information that I choose.
Yeah.
So when I turn on my laptop, for example, I choose exactly what to watch and when. So it's very good. It's very good way of autonomy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically the creative process, the co-creative process.
Mm-hmm. And I'm also noticing that the light in your environment has become very good now.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we're seeing you much better. Yes, it has it been challenging for you to be on this path because did you find people to resonate with, enough people to resonate with so that your life would be in a balanced expression? How is it for you from this point of view?
No, it's been very challenging. It's been like most of us, this is probably the most challenging curriculum that the soul has to endure, choosing to come into this density. Very, very challenging. But the challenging are changing as I progress into the journey, because those challenging moments are teaching me, are teachers. In terms of co-creation, it's still very challenging. People like me that have they are enduring, following with great integrity and their imagination. They have to be patient, because the world is still not there many times. Still in an awakening process. They're still dealing with things, and you already have dealt with. And so many times you have a lot to give, a lot to offer, a lot to share, but nobody can really comprehend that just yet. So you have to have a little bit of patience, or a lot of patience and time. But the good news is that I sense that as I expand my heart more and more, I direct my vibrational offer in a version of this planet that is more open and more, because everything is a mirror, right?
Yes.
So when there are, with our imagination, we are constantly shifting to different realities. This planet has an infinite amount of version, and by choosing a specific frequency, we tune in to a specific version of this planet.
Exactly.
So exactly. So and that's what we are learning. Those are the challenges, and still is going back inward into a sense of self-responsibility, rather than going into the victim and blaming games, which many of us fall. We just need to say, okay, I'm not getting the response that I wish to have. So what is within me that I need to address in order to get those responses, right?
Self-responsibility, yes.
Exactly. So I am, as I progress into the journey, I'm noticing that there is more and more a world that is resonating with my music, is resonating with what I'm doing. It's not a coincidence that we are having this conversation right now, because you have been resonating with what I am doing. So this is a confirmation for me that everything is well.
Yes, yes, and we are constantly working on the same path that you are working. We are constantly imbuing the planet with the vibration of love, more at the energetic level, not really using sound, but for some while now we are also using sound through speech. I mean, we are having all these meetings with all these beautiful people and creating these sounds. Summit, the Pranic Consciousness Summit that you are in now, and the festivals, just to use speech and voice, which is also sound, to recalibrate the fields of the planet with the vibration of love. And what we've noticed is that the higher our vibration is, as individuals, individualities, as we might call it, the higher, the faster the fine-tunement through voice and speech is done. So for some of us, it is enough to be in a gathering and just speak of whatever. We can speak about the weather. It doesn't matter what the theme is,
Yes.
but just speaking through voice and speech, everything is recalibrated around us. It's so simple, and with music as well.
Yes, and that's one of the biggest secrets that the system doesn't want us to know, because the truth is that everything is sound. The whole multi-universe is a grand symphony orchestra. And what happens is that we momentarily, we choose to forget, we fall into a forgetfulness, and so we are a little bit out of tune. And now is the time to tune back with the symphony orchestra of life, which is everything, because everything is sound. First thing is sound. Otherwise, there will be nothing, you know. So first comes sounds, and then comes eventually light and colors, and then shapes, and then crystallization of matter. But the first thing is sound. So once we master the secrets of sounds, we can create anything.
I was going to ask this right from the beginning. I'm happy we got to this. My belief and knowledge is that everything is created through sound, and all the realms of creation have sound at their basis, and also in this world, in this realm of physical existence, the big creations of humanity, like the pyramids and so on, I was strongly guided that they are created through sound. What is your view of this?
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely true. The idea that 1,000 slaves lift up those big masses of rock and perfectly aligned in the pyramid shape, perfectly connected with the stars and everything else, is a fantasy. In reality, pyramids and many other things have been created with sound, have been manifested with sound, and everything, again, comes from sound. And we can instantly heal our bodies, our diseases. We can change things around with sound in a way that right now is even difficult to comprehend. But eventually we will get there.
Yes, and how do you think this sound is manifesting through your work now? What were the steps that were necessary for you to get here?
Well, for me, music right now, the first thing that I'm addressing right now through the power of music is to create an emotional release in people. That seems to be, for me, the most important step right now for humanity. We have a lot of blocked emotions within our system, and we need to release them if we want to be able to start to continue our journey to higher realms. And music has the ability, music and sound has the ability to do that better than anything else. So the first step for me in musicality is to do concert to open the heart and release the emotions, allow people, take them into a journey where they can give themselves permission to release the emotions, whether it's sadness, it's anger, it's love, it's whatever is there that needs to be addressed, because we learn so much to not to express ourselves and to hold tight and have this mask that is always in charge, and this is blocking us from proceeding our journey. So that's the first rule to me in my musicality, my intention. That's why I have melodies. It's not just sound, because melodies create an emotion instantly, while sound can heal and create stillness and support stillness. When you introduce melodies, basically melodies is stillness talking to you. Melodies is music that is saying, open up, let out, let the tears come out, whatever needs to be come out, let's let out, you know. And so that's why the concepts that I'm doing are very melodic at this point, because I want to create an emotion. I want to create a release of emotions.
How are people reacting to your music right now? I mean, in concerts, do you organize in public places, I guess, in opera centers and so on, yes?
Yes, well, the opera, the classical aspect is related to my latest music production, which happened to be contemporary classic. But my next step will be more open. It will actually blend contemporary classical music with other genres. What was your question exactly?
I was asking, how are people reacting?
Oh, how are people? Yes, yes. It's phenomenal. It's just incredible. Those people that by resonance come to the event obviously are people that are open to. They don't even know, but they are open to. They're ready to that opening. And so I've seen in those concerts that I created quite an amazing transformation where I see the audience coming in and they are all, normal
Serious.
people sitting down, serious, and and then as the music start to enter their structure, you can see that either they don't want it, they resist, they don't want to let go, and then they have no choice but leave the room, or once they stay, they start to open up and they start to cry and they start to feel love, and at the end of the concert, it's beautiful. To see everybody embracing each other and open and smile. And this, by the way, happened first amongst the musicians.
Yes, I imagine that, yes.
It's incredible because when you deal, for example, with classical musicians, which are beautiful, fantastic people, beautiful musicians, but sometimes they are a little bit stiff, right? They are very serious. Give me my car, I will need to play the notes, and they do the rehearsal. What time is it? I have to go home now. That's the attitude. It's like a job. And the first few days are like that. But as they start to play, and you can see that they start to open. And now at the end of the concert, they come to me, Marco, this was so beautiful. When you need another time to play, please call me. I want to be part of this. So it's a unifying field in both sides, from the audience and from the musician, and that's so beautiful and so rewarding.
Yes, it's actually recalibrating everyone that is participating.
Everyone, yes.
How many concerts did you have? How many people do you think you have touched so far by live?
The process is still at the beginning because the readiness of the planet for this kind of music is arriving right now. For now, music are still connected to the idea of entertainment. Nothing wrong with entertainment. And when we do music, there is a degree of entertainment, but we go far beyond that. And so many of the people don't want to go that deep into music. But now, as I can see in the last 3 or 4 years, I start to see that more and more people wants to. And so to answer your question, right now I have probably a few thousands of people, but I hope that soon we will reach the millions. In fact, I know that it will happen. I don't know when. And again, I'm not concerned about the how. I'm just concerned about being present and keep doing what I love to do. And then whatever happens, it's up to source, right? But I can sense, I can see that the more I keep integrity in what I'm doing, the more the number of the people increases.
Exactly. And would you say there are certain areas of the planet that are more open to it, and then other areas that are not? What are the areas where you found more openness, or you had the most frequent musical representations so far?
I think, well, there are 2 ways to answer this question. One, first of all, is my inner guidance and synchronicity will take me to the right place at the right time. Yes. I think all the places are literally the perfect places. It can be a concert amongst the Aborigines of Africa, or it can be a concert with the Austria Vienna Philharmonica, which is the London Orchestra of and paradoxically, I think it's going to be harder with the London Orchestra of Philharmonica because there is much more ego involved in it, right? While it's really, I'm not really concerned about that. Wherever I feel there is a call, I'm here to serve. You know, is a service by sharing my gift. When we choose to embrace our gift and to share them, we are serving. We are helping humanity. We are helping Mother Earth to become a better place, and that's why we are here. You know, and so I'm not so much concerned about the places, but I had great results in America. I had great results in South America. I hope soon to be able to do the same in Europe. I'm working on creating the circumstances to do a tour everywhere in Europe, in the north, central, east and west European country, the Mediterranean country. I think it's going to happen soon. It's a matter of communing with people, because I cannot do everything by myself, obviously. So it's by resonance. People will start to come, and there will be musicians. There will be people that wants to help in many different ways.
Yes. What was your? I'm sure this will happen because your music is now necessary for humanity.
Yeah, right now the product of the labor of our heart is necessary for humanity, whether it's music or anything else. You see, I don't want to give a message that I'm special. Yes, I am special, but at the same time, we are all special. So we all have the ability to help you. How do we help people? Just by being fully who we are. It's just about being who we are. And I happen to be, among many other things, a musician. And so by being fully a musician, I not only have a lot of fun, and I also increase my level of consciousness and awareness, but I also help a lot of people. And that's a formula that works for everybody.
Of course, of course. I know you know a lot of information about the music and how it impacts the human body. Could you give us some details about how does it impact our cells and so on? Because I haven't seen Masaru Emoto's studies about the water and the way it's impacted by sound, and our bodies being 80 to 85% water or more.
Yes.
There is this strong impact. Can you give us more scientific details or something else about this?
Well, yes. Well, you said that the water is 70 or 80% of our component in our body. Well, sound, the best conduit for sounds is water. So that tells you how powerful can be sound. Again, I address the idea of sound and music as a way to support and transform life from a female energy. My approach is very female, so I cannot give you formulas of numbers of frequencies. There are people that are very, I know, for example, if you use 432 megahertz, of course, you have a different impact on sound. But in my case, my approach is completely female, or not completely, but mostly, permanently female. So it's all about addressing the emotions. So by just addressing my emotions, I address your emotion too, because there is no difference between me and you. We are the same.
You are another me. Yes, we always say that. It's an impact salutation, actually.
Exactly.
It's true.
So it is difficult to talk about music because is the most mysterious situation that we have. Music and water. Water also is very mysterious, but music is even more mysterious. No, I don't think there is no musician that can express to you how he composed music. Yeah, you can know how to play a piano, he can tell you how to play a guitar, how to arrange a piece of music, but when it comes to how to create a melody, it's a mysterious process. It's just a tuning in. So that's how far I can go with your question.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you very much. Before we end, we would like to know something about your life. I mean, how are you living right now? We know that you were born in Italy, yes?
Yes.
Tell us a little about your life before I start.
Sure. I began my journey here in this brief journey here in this physical form in north of Italy. And then when I was about 6 years old, my closest family moved to Rome, the big city, and I spent a good number of years in Rome. And at a certain point, I went to America. And I started a journey in America for a good 20-something years. And in that journey, I mostly conceive quite an extensive library of music. I have about 15 or 20 records of music that I produce, but I haven't even fully showcased just yet because the moment I don't feel is the right moment. And now I complete my journey in America, and I'm returning back home, which is the Mediterranean. Right now, presently, I'm in Greece. I spent 1 year here in the island of Crete, in which I did a lot of inner work and a lot of creative work, not only with music, but also with my second way to express myself, which is photography. And right now I am about to put together everything: photography, music, sounds, voice, movement. And my next, and also I am also doing a lot of talking, like what we are having right now. I'm doing a lot of interviews everywhere in the world. I'm doing a blog where I talk about a lot of things. A lot of people ask me questions, and I create mini videos to respond to their questions. So there is a lot of vibrant creativity that surrounds my life as usual, and it's very exciting. It's getting more and more fun. My next step is probably going to find another location in nature, because nature is one of our most important friends. It's probably the only situation that is not deceiving. Nature doesn't lie to us most of the time, although nature too needs some healing, but it's our most, one of the portal to our higher self. The other one is stillness, and the other one is the imagination, love making, when it's pure. All these are our way to connect to source. And so back to what we were saying, my next step is to find a new location, immersed in nature, but in a location where I can have a little bit more networking at the international level, so that I can start to crystallize all this idea that I've been sharing with you. Because at this time is a matter of communing. We need to start to co-create together. We need to start to find people that are in the same resonance as we are, so that we can crystallize our vision in a more empowering way. Particularly in people like me, I need musicians, I need producers, I need, of course, financial backup, I need locations, rehearsal, recording, I mean, theaters to play, lights. I mean, it's quite a fascinating journey, and I cannot do it by myself, of course. So now is the time to start to operate in the sense in Europe. And so I'm right now looking for a location for the next 6-12 months where I could probably take the whole things to the next level.
That's wonderful to hear. So you have been a traveler, so to speak, for a long time. Started near Venice, yes?
Yes.
And got all the way up to America and then back again to Europe. is your traveling and the cultural backgrounds that you have faced influencing your music now?
Oh, and life is constantly influencing my music. It's more than influencing my music. It's supporting my heart opening process. And so, because music, when it's pure, doesn't have so much influence. It's just pure sound that comes through you, pure melody. The influence comes later when you start to produce the music, meaning it's like if you make a little beautiful child, it's pure. And now you have to decide, okay, how we are going to dress him. We are going to make it elegant. We put some jeans, we put a red shirt, you know, and that's the arrangement of the music. The music is conceived pure, you know, and it's actually most of the time a very rapid process. You can, yeah, it's like instantaneous. It downloaded like in a few seconds. Then the way how you decide, okay, we're going to do classical now concert, or should we do like music like jazz, or more like Pink Floyd, or more like a song where people can sing along? What are we going to do with this? And of course, you keep connecting with your heart in order to find the answer. What I see right now is to create a sort of exactly like I said, sort of a Pink Floyd band with an orchestra behind. That's
yes.
my next vision.
Next vision. So may it be that it comes true if it's beneficial for humanity.
Of course, or that, or something else better, maybe. Who knows?
Perfect. That's allowing. Thank you.
Yes.
Finally, because people say yes, 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 you know, but now you came and said, well, whatever is best for humanity. That's
Yes.
allowing. Thank you for showing this to us.
Sure.
It has been a beautiful talk, Marco, and I loved having you with us here. And we thank you so much for your openness and
Thank you.
quick answer. You know, we know you're busy and so on, but you have been really open to this, and we hope to see you again. As we shared, you are invited in Romania for the Pranic Festival, even as a guest, if not as a musician, however you prefer it. It's gonna be August 15 to 18 this year,
Okay.
and then whatever is best for you. Yes, thank you so much, and we hope to meet again for whenever you have a next project. Just let us know, and maybe we have a new talk publicly.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Cristiana. Thank you very much, and to you and to your lovely people. And I'm always available. Just let's keep co-creating, and let's keep the connection going.
And thanks everyone for watching this. You can find more interviews and meetings from the Pranic Consciousness Summit on the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or on the link you have received in your email if you're watching via the email we sent you. We thank you for being here with us. We thank you for supporting this project. We please welcome your sharing this with your friends and with everyone in your community, because it's a very beneficial project for humanity, and it's all about raising the vibration and the level of consciousness on the planet we're all living on. So thanks everyone, thanks Marco, and see you again for the next meeting.
Bye-bye.
Bye again. Bye.